All right, we are live actually. Yeah, let's see here. Let me go. I went to the wrong screen. Boy, I'm doing good here. Okay, there we go. We are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to DC Fine Art. Today we are going to be doing a um, a drawing of a birdhouse, and I'm going to be starting from scratch, so you guys can follow along, or maybe if you want to try this yourselves, you guys can do this also at home. So you can just go ahead and freehand draw a birdhouse. So it's a lot of fun being able to create something that I would have to say it's not like from a reference photo. I did put a reference photo on the thumbnail, but this is going to be just us making it up as we go. Now, this is a chat and a live stream, so you're more than welcome to chat along with me. Also, all of the things that I have that I'm going to be using to do this drawing is going to be listed below in the description underneath the Amazon affiliate links. So if there's something that you're kind of curious about what I'm using, then you can just go check that out in the description below. If I did forget something, just let me know in the comments because I'll be happy to go ahead and send you the link for whatever it is that maybe I have missed, because that can happen, especially whenever I always grab things. Now, for my Patreons, I want to thank you all for my Patreons too, who are on that other side. I didn't do anything last week because I was feeling very, very ill. A lot of the heat has gotten to me, so especially working outside. So this week I'm going to try. I know it's 4th of July, so that's the thing I keep on forgetting. It's going to be 4th of July. That's what we're doing for a theme for this birdhouse. But since all my family is going to be together for this 4th of July, I may be really, really busy and I may not have time to just go ahead and just sit down and do the little flower on the shoe. But I'm hoping that next week maybe I can get that done. I am going to be taking it a little bit easier on myself because whole story, I hate to chat so much, but I have been kind of overworking myself for the past like 4 years that I guess it's silently, should I say, silently getting to me and without me knowing. And I say that in a way is not just the artwork, but just as far as like doing videos and all that stuff, it was kind of getting to me and I was sitting at a desk and not doing much. Like I should be doing something and I was just exhausted thinking I was. So I ended up going through a lot of not doing as much as what I should, not just with the artwork, but as much as like everything else in the household. So I've been trying to get myself moving and doing things other than sitting at the desk trying to make a video. I've been trying to actually get out and work and do more things physically. So trying to do that, and I think that will help better me. Now, I know you guys are probably like bored of that. So I don't want to go into it too deep unless I do a video on it. I think that would be good. So that might be something separate too. And maybe if you guys are interested in joining YouTube and starting your own art channel, maybe you can start thinking, okay, 40 years down the road, 5 years down the road, this may happen to you. So I think it would be a good video to put out there, especially whenever I'm going through it myself. So, also, if you could leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, because we will be having a Patreon, or not a Patreon, sorry, a palette full pack box review and final review that will be coming up here actually shortly. We may end up getting that box probably next week. So I'll go ahead and do the box opening and we'll go through all the items that are in the Powerful Pack box for the July month or the month of July. And then I'll do a speed painting using only those products that's in the box. So super exciting. I think that'll be next week. So there's a lot of things going already. Let me go ahead and turn this around so that we can look at the desk again. And I can go over some of the things that I'll be using and what we're going to be doing on creating this birdhouse. And we're going to be doing it with a 1-point perspective. So if some of you are not familiar with point perspectives, or maybe it's been a really, really long time. I know for me, it's been a long time, but I do remember, quite a bit of it from doing like not just 1 point or 2 point, but like the 4 point or 5 point perspectives. Those can get really tricky. But we're just going to be doing a 1 point perspective and kind of refreshing some of those times whenever we had in high school where they had to teach you that. Or at least they should have taught you in high school, I would hope. Let's go ahead and turn this around. There we go. So I know I'm using the Arches white drawing paper. Now, this paper is really nice actually, and I'm going to be using this not to do with like color pencil or anything like that. I would probably suggest when using this, see, I did this little guy. That was a part of our imaginary, or at least my little imaginary creatures. But as you can see, I drew it out on here, and then I could take a piece of tracing paper, put over the top of him, trace him out, and I transferred him over onto the paper that I was going to use like color pencil is what I used for him. Now, the paper I really do like to use, and I mean there's other papers too that I like to use, but this is just one of them that I do, and it is the Canson Me-Tents pastel paper. This is super, super nice, but you would really like, I know that one's like fun. You should use the back side of this. Now I know my daughter drew on that side, but it's okay. She had some fun with it too. But this is just an older book that I have, but use the back side of these sheets, because the front side, I don't know if you guys can see that, it is really, really, see those bumps? And you were using color pencil, it's still okay to fill in, and you can fill that in. That's what we're using for the Patreon little croc shoe that I was doing. And it was the bumpy side because I couldn't turn it on the other side, the smooth side, because it was an actual board. But if you could, and you get these loose sheets, use the back side for color pencil. And this paper works amazingly good. I absolutely love it. So that's what we're going to end up tracing it, or at least tracing it and putting it over, would be on a Canson Me-Tents pastel paper. I don't know what this camera likes to focus on, but it's focusing on something. I don't know what. Or at least it's still thinking about it. Now this paper here is super, super soft. It's like, when you feel it, it feels like cloth. Like, I mean, I know it's 100% cotton, or is it 100%? Hold on, let me look. I hate to say 100%, and then it's not 100%. It says extra white. Yeah, it's 100% pure cotton. And it is, I mean, it seriously feels like it. Like, the paper is so smooth, it almost feels like a material. Like, it is super nice. Now, the only thing I would say is that for this type of paper, if you were to do like a drawing or a charcoal drawing, then it works, really well. If you were going to do like color pencil and then try and use like something to blend it, like your odorless mineral spirits, I don't know. This paper just really kind of, I'm just afraid it would damage the paper itself. So it's best to just use it for like actual drawing, like using pencils, or maybe even a little bit of charcoal would be good for it. But it is super, super soft. Like, I love feeling this paper. So we're gonna go ahead and turn this around. It's like the whole thing like fell out of this. I've had this paper for a while. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start our birdhouse. And we just gotta think about it. What type, I know I wanted to be more patriotic, a theme for 4th of July. So red, white, and blue. So just add red, white, and blue into your birdhouse. You could even make your birdhouse, and what I was really thinking is making it like the whole birdhouse red, white, and blue. I'm gonna put my little glove on. It makes me feel good because I don't want to put all my oils all over the paper. And then you can use any type of pencil you want. I'm just going to use this 0.7 Sumo grip. I think that's what it's called. I do believe I got this in a Powerful Pack box, and I like the pencil. It's a really nice pencil. I actually should have listed that in the description below, and I did not do the pencil because I was just going to grab any pencil that I have up there, but I do like these pencils. So first things first, we're going to start by drawing a straight line across. I like my little arrows here. And this will be basically what you call it, is just a vanishing point. And so if we're going to be looking like almost directly on, like straight on with this birdhouse, then we just want to put a straight line all the way across. Remember, we're also going to be transferring this. So even if we get a bunch of eraser marks all over this paper, it's really not going to matter. And also, if we're wanting to, let's just say, do a lot of scenery, a lot of background, maybe we want to, excuse me, add in a bird or do something like add a lot more things to it. Even though this is a 9x12 paper, I can still take that birdhouse and transfer it over to a larger paper, and then I can add whatever else I want to add to it, whether or not I want to trace over a bird, or if I want to, you know, go ahead and do something different and then add it to the other piece of paper, you can definitely do that. So now we just got to see what angle do we want our house. This is our birdhouse. Do we want to look at it from like the front's here, but then we're kind of standing at an angle and can see this side? Or do we want our birdhouse here and then kind of looking at the other side? Like we can stand at which side are we standing at? Are we standing this way? Or are we standing here and kind of looking at it? And I just like to put it over on the right-hand side. So this right here can be our vanishing point. And of course I get a phone call right whenever I'm started live streaming. Hold on, it's my husband. I'm just gonna put live streaming. He always does that. Right when it's live streaming, he doesn't call me and he waits until all of a sudden it's live stream. All right, so anyways, so we got our vanishing point right here on this side. So that means that we're looking at the side. We can see this side of the birdhouse, and then this is going to be the front side. So now we just got to figure, okay, where do we want, like how big do we want our birdhouse? Which we can do it. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect neither, but we're going to put it like right like that. I don't want to take it too far over. Let's do 6 and 2. I did move it. And then we just want to put straight and then just straight across. Okay. So now we got the front side of our birdhouse. And we could always make like, depending on if you're wanting to make like a circle here, or you can do a circle on the bottom. That all just depends on how you guys see it. Now we're going to go ahead and make this into a box. We'll have to do some erasing, but we take from this dot here, our vanishing point, and we're going to go all the way to the corner of the house. Now we're going to take this corner and go to our vanishing point, take it all the way over to that corner. Okay, we're going to do the same thing to both the top and the bottom. Trying to get that corner as closely as I can. Doesn't have to be perfect because you won't be able to see these once we get all our corners in. Okay. So now we have this box right here. Now we can judge just, or like think, okay, how big do we want this backside of the birdhouse? Do we want it to be a long birdhouse? Do we want it to be a little bit of a square box kind of birdhouse? What do we want? And if you're wanting to make like a bigger birdhouse, you can definitely make a really big birdhouse, or at least a bigger one if you want to. And you could do that on a larger piece of paper. Okay, so now we got that. Now we need our back side of our box. So if this is the front, now we just got to go to right about, we can put it right in here, it'll be fine. Like I said, you won't be able to see this, but I mean, you can easily do this if you want to. You can make your back side. Actually, this one here, I should have put this corner. Needs to go right there. Let me erase that. I don't want my line there. This is why you do it on a scratch piece of paper, and you don't really want to do your drawing on the actual paper you're going to be using to color or paint, is because you don't want all those eraser marks. So that's straight, and then we go up here and we just take that and we just draw it straight across, and then we can just go from this one to this. So there's our back side. But we won't be able to, with the only corner that we'll be able to see is probably this one right here. These lines here are just kind of imaginary. So now we want to go ahead and make the roof of our birdhouse. So I was thinking more of a pointed roof, so you can easily make your cross right here. Here, let me do that with a ruler, just because I like my rulers. And I like this clear rulers, by the way, because if you use a clear ruler, you can see through your ruler and kind of see where you're at. Okay, so I put an X right here, and then what I can do is that basically tells me where the center of my birdhouse is. This is the center, which you got the line right there too, but just to make sure you always, now let's draw a line going straight up. Okay, so that's going to be the peak of our roof right here. So now we can take it and we can go like that, or we can go ahead and take it and go off. There we go. Let's do this one. There we go. And so then with these little angles here where we went over, where the roof kind of hangs over it, you want to take that line and go to your little vanishing point here and draw a little line there. Take our vanishing point, go up here, take our vanishing point and go to the roof. And there's our roof. And then I would just take like this roof here. You got a nice little angle, which should match up with this. So then just make your little angle there. Okay, so now I'm going to start getting rid of some of these lines because we don't need that many lines, and definitely in this. So here comes another fun part. I'm going to take my electric eraser, just a little bit easier. So I do not need like this line here. I mean, I could keep some of those, it don't really matter. Like I said, I'm going to be transferring this drawing over to a bigger sheet of paper. Okay. And now I'm going to take these lines off. Okay. That way you can kind of see the separation here. Also, if we're gonna have a birdhouse, we can have like, definitely I would want the little hole to be right in this area, and we're gonna end up using our circle ruler here to create a circle for the birdhouse. But I'm gonna go ahead and remove, because I don't think we need any windows in a birdhouse except for the little hole. So a little corner there. And if the hole's here, you're just basically gonna see the wall. So you're not gonna see any of these corners. But let's just say you're creating an actual home, then you might wanna leave these back walls just in case you do put in windows that might look into the home and see a corner of a wall. At least you'll know that you can see into it. I just want to erase this one. I don't think I want to erase that cross one, but I definitely want this back wall gone. And I don't really need my horizon here. I don't need this one. And we don't need this because we do not have a see-through home for our birds. All right, let's see what we got. I'm gonna be covered in eraser dust, so it's nice. All right, so now we got our little birdhouse here, and I'm gonna go ahead and stick the hole for the birdhouse, and I want it to be, I mean, I don't know if we should stick it in the center because that would be the center of the birdhouse. I mean, yeah, we probably would. We don't want it too low. So I'm just gonna go with, and see, we could end up making, what's really nice is this ruler here, because you can literally make your, you can put your little thing, if any of these holes are not big enough, you could always do a bigger hole, and I'll show you. Or a bigger circle. So like, let's just say you got this circle here. See? And let's just say we want to make it bigger. So just a little bit bigger. Let's go to this hole here. We can hold the ruler and spin it around, and now we got ourselves a bigger circle. And so let's just say we want to make it even bigger. We can go out here, make our little circle, and voila, we got an even bigger circle. So what makes this super nice is that if you don't like how big, like you want one that's bigger than this circle, then you can always go with this one here too and be slightly bigger. If I got it centered up. I did not have that centered up. Hold on. Oops. Make sure you hold it. I think it's holding it here maybe. Do I have it in the center? I think I got it in the center. Let me just see. No. So like I can do, that one's kind of stuck. Go that way. But yeah, you can do several different types of sizes of circles with this. I've had this for quite a while. But it's really kind of handy, should I say. And I bet I can erase this and still see my lines. So I'm just gonna erase this. That way I don't have to erase the line once I get my circle in there. So how are you guys doing? Are you guys doing anything fun for the upcoming holiday? I need to make sure this is straight. So let me take my line here. That's the center. There's my little dot right in there. Oh, I think I made too big of a hole. It's Big Bird that lives in this hole. That's a big enough hole. I think it would fit an ostrich in it. I don't want it that big. Good God. I was having fun. Here, let's get that off of there. Let's try this again. I don't want it that big. I mean, I could, that's just not, that one's too small. That one ain't too bad. All right, so now what else do we want to add to our home? Now, do we want to make, well, I know I definitely want to add another little, let me take that and I want to make that roof. From here. Actually, that one will go all the way up because we can't see it. So let's go to there, come down, and that goes to there. And then we don't really need this little line. There. That ought to be good. I don't really need this little line either. And we don't need this center point here. I'm gonna take it down. My battery is about ready to run out on my eraser. All right, so now that we have that done, now we can start thinking, okay, we want to design our birdhouse. So what can we do to make it even better? I mean, we can make it really cute. We can just add we can add attachments to it. Like, do we want, it'd be kind of cute if it had like a little front porch, wouldn't it? Thing is, how far would we want it to come out? Let's see here. Could probably make like another line right here. Never really done this, so I don't really know how it would look if you stuck a front porch on it. Okay. Okay. And then I want the front porch to go up to like maybe right there. That would look cute. Give our bird a little like perch to kind of sit on. I think that would be so cute. Let's go a little bit further down, give it a little bit of a railing there. Little bit of a railing there. And then I would just take it and let's just go over all the way down. I'm not going to be too precise on this neither, but I think it would just be cute. Can't see through it. And let's just go ahead and give I don't even think it really has to be perfect on how thick your bars are or anything, or the spaces in between. I don't think we really have to worry too much about that. I do want to draw a line. Going from here, we're just going to draw a little line like that off of each little rail here on top rail. Okay, and then we're going to make, like, we got our side corner here. We're going to make it come out just a little bit. And we're going to leave that corner there. That's good, that's good. And then we are actually going to take away this corner here. You can't see this house through this beam of wood, but we can have a piece of wood going straight up and down. Oops, can't hold on to my pencil. Okay. I'm actually going to come just a little bit over with this edge here. I'm going to go a little bit over with that, just so that way kind of take that corner of the house look away. And then it looks like it's separated there. So that's pretty cool. So now our birdhouse has like a little railing, and let's just say maybe we want a little awning. Maybe he needs to have, like, in case of it rains, the little bird doesn't need to like get wet. So maybe like a little awning over the top of his birdhouse here. About yay big. let's make it a little smaller on top. And it just depends on how it's stuck on there. We can always put a little bit of depth in there. So we can go a little bit more, depending on how deep it is. Now he's got like a little awning. I'm going to take that over just a little bit more. Looks like I got a little bit of a lip in there. It's going to bother me. Don't want that in there. Okay. So now our little birdhouse has got like a little awning over it, and you could always, since we're going to be doing like a little bit of a Patriotic type of thing, we could always make this like red, white, and then have a blue house, and then you could put like a little star up here, which that would be really cute. Either we could just draw a star in, or if you feel like you have like a little star that maybe you want to trace in, you could always do that. But you could always do your star. I just do mine the easy way. Just draw it in, and then you can always just adjust where needed. Kind of wanted to round the corners just a little bit on my little star. All right. So now, what else do we need on our birdhouse? Of course, this is going to be really super dark and black through here. I don't know. I'm thinking that it needs some windows. And they're going to be fake windows because there's not, we don't need to so our windows they could be big windows, they could be smaller windows. I probably want to put them kind of close to the size of our little birdhouse up there, like our holes. And now we can just take and draw a straight line down. One right there, one right there, one right there. Hold on. Got a little bit of a slant on that. Needed to straighten that up. Always do adjustments anywhere needed. So now we have some little windows. We can erase these little edges, kind of clean them up a little bit. Now, like I said, these are fake windows. I don't think our birdhouse really needs like actual windows. Okay, and then we're still using this pointer reference here, so that way we can draw in our little lines. There we go. And then also, do we want a base to our, like, I know we got the little, thinking we should, because sometimes these birdhouses have like little like going all the way across, like a little round platform that it sits on. And I'm thinking it needs that little platform. Let me make this line here. Okay. And let's make a straight line up and down there. So that looks good. Now we get a little platform for our birdhouse to sit on. All right, so now we can think, okay, what else do we want to add to our little birdhouse? No, I don't really like, I know I put this there, just it's black, and then drew that little X out, but now I'm looking in the camera like, okay, why did I do that? Because now I'm looking at it and it looks all funny. Like, you're seriously going to put an X with a bunch of scribblies in it? No. I don't like the way that looks. This is my little patriotic birdhouse. Celebrating little. And of course, you know, we're looking at it from an angle, so you can always just like take and from here just kind of do a, probably not that, probably right there. And if you have trouble like drawing half moons, like you did the circle and you're like, oh my gosh, how do I do that? Like make a perfect, like make it round. You can always just use your little thingy here to just make like a half circle. If you remembered, if you use like the second one or the first one, then I would just use the same thing and just kind of go over it like mine actually wants to turn. But I just find it easier to do it this way. Probably be easier. Be like, which hole did I use to make my circle? Okay, so now we got to think, what else do we want here? I think I want to add I know I didn't leave enough room on there. I added 2 windows instead of 1 window. If I had 1 window, you could actually probably add shutters, but I kind of didn't leave enough room for shutters. So it didn't get shutters. So the other thing that you could do is, what else do we want to add? Oh, I want to add a chimney. I think that would be cute. Let's make sure our line's straight. I just kind of line it up with another straight line, and we can put a chimney like right there. And then use your little reference here, or your perspective. I'm gonna go with this one. So I don't want my chimney too big. And then of course the bottom. Remember, you can always erase. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. It's kind of a little bit of a crooked one. Maybe I should have drew. If I did a straight line, it would look funky. But this top here, actually this top needs to be more flat. Let's do that. One side needs to be crooked. The other side doesn't need to be crooked here. We'll get our chimney right here. Okay, now I want to take my point perspective here, and we are going to make the thickness of it. We'll make this straight. Actually, I probably shouldn't have made it straight. Hold on. Made it a little bit too thick here. I want it to come down here. That's not see-through. We did make our roof. Let me make sure. And the roof goes like that. So I'm just double checking a lot of my lines here. If we ended up doing this, it probably would look. If we did it at an angle, That'll be fine. Really thinking it should be more straight, but depending on how our birdhouse is. So now we have this little cute little birdhouse, and we can keep going. I mean, we can put you could even do a wraparound porch if you wanted to. Or we could end up, because I know the bird would like to perch on that. You could always do like with these ingles here, you could go and put more ingles in here. I would probably like to put them like this. Hold on. I think this would look really cute. If you did like 2 angles sideways and then 1 angle straight. That'd be kind of cute. You also got to remember too, if you want siding on your house, or do you want your boards going up and down? I mean, what would you prefer on yours? And if you do, then all you would do is just go up and up and up and up and just draw your line all the way up. But when it comes to the side of your house and you want siding, you're going to have to put your pencil here and then draw a line, and use your vantage point. Draw a line, and you keep going all the way down on how many you want. That way you got the correct angle on the side. But before I do that, I definitely want to know if I should stick something else on here. Like, I don't know if I should do a little flagpole. Kind of looks kind of funny with the front porch not wrapping around though. I do have to say that. So maybe we'll just go ahead and do that. Let's make our wraparound porch. So let's take it. We're just going to take that all the way across. And we're going to go to the next one. Right there. And we're going to go all the way down to this little line here. Okay, and then of course it's supposed to be straight. Straight, straight, straight. And you just keep going. I would probably get a little bit closer, a little bit smaller as we get further back. Probably just one more. Okay, and then you're also going to have the top runner here, or at least the top of your board. Just going to go straight across. Doesn't have to be too perfect. So now we got a porch that goes all the way to that side. And then you can take your perfection eraser too. I did put the perfection eraser in there just in case you wanted to do some really fine detail erase marks. This is a good eraser to do that with. this? Or sharpen? And then you can always take and put like straight down, hints of some rails back there. Someone's like, this needs to come out a little bit more. So we can make some adjustments. I just now see it. I don't know why I'm always like, oh yeah, by the way. Oops, there. I'm going to put it a little bit smaller because we don't need it to fit like a person. This is just a little birdhouse. Sometimes I need to remind myself that, like, it's just a birdhouse. Something that they can stand on. We don't need a human being to fit in this. Maybe for the bird to stand on. Go, and then erase this little piece right there. Let's erase that. And I know you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, that would be a whole lot to trace and transfer, but I mean, in all reality, it's just a few little planks here or a few little, just probably being the most of it. But it ain't gonna be too bad to trace this. Now, if you want to work on getting some really fine details in there, then yeah, it would be a pain in the butt. So you just want to get basically your base of what you're wanting. Like if I was going to do, and that's the reason why I haven't put my siding on the house, is because I'm going to leave that for whenever I do my actual drawing. I probably would rather, I don't know, I probably would. I mean, it wouldn't be too bad just to go in there and draw the lines. But if you were to do like anything, like a whole bunch of stars somewhere, like drawing in 50 stars or whatever, 51 stars, but it would just take a lot more to trace and transfer. So try and limit yourself on some of the things that you can do without having to erase a lot on your paper. I would probably suggest doing that. This is just a base to what we're doing. And I mean, this took probably, if I wasn't doing like a lot of talking, should I say, I could probably do this in less than an hour. And it's just a whole lot of fun. I mean, it just depends on what you want to do with it. Let's go ahead and put our siding in here because I think it's pretty good. Let's try and get this one. Let's do like that. Make it a little bit thicker. I don't want it too small because if I go too small, then yeah, that's not going to be fun. But just a little bit bigger, like thicker lines. You're going to see just how big of a difference it makes when you put in this siding. Goes right up with that, so we're not going to do that. The rail's going to be hiding some of the siding there, the lines, which is okay. There we go. And then now we want to go ahead and draw our straight lines. What I would do for this is just kind of start at like one of your points of where your siding is, and then go across. That way you are drawing the same thickness of lines. Did I stick my whole head? I was. Jeez. Sorry about that. Start with this line. Let's go across this line. This line. Sometimes with how picky I am on some of my drawings, I really wish that I had a ruler that had like one of the little rulers that you use for construction, where you got the little bevel on it. I actually wish they had a clear one for art. So that way you could still be level. I know they make them for construction, but it kind of would be nice to have one for art. They probably have one, you know, I say things like that and then come to find out they're like, oh yeah, here's one right here. Clear ruler like this with a little leveler. Okay, so there we go. So now we got to do, can't forget my top lines. And that's why I like this ruler, this clear ruler, because I can literally see where my things are underneath of it, so that way I'm not going over the top of it. There. I'm gonna erase this little line here. All right. So now this is our little birdhouse. It's definitely shaping up. Looks really, really cute. And of course, if you're wanting to put any kind of like foliage on it or any kind of like greenery, then you could all over it. And then if you're wanting to, let's do this. This is going to look funny at first, but I have a plan. don't think you can see that. You can. Okay. I'm going to take and we're going to make some shingles, and I'm just going to go down. And they're not going to be perfect at all. I actually don't want them perfect. I want my little circles to have some character here, or my little shingles. So just to have something. My edges. Now this here, you could either do wood or you could do like brick. So I just draw your little lines. Okay. Of course, you're going to have to do your vanishing point line here. I always end up going past my line. There. There. Let's do that here. There. And then for our lines, we're going to put like bam, bam, and then do 1. And let's do 2, 1, and then 1 there. And then going to do the same here. There's 2. And this is going to be a hard one. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Okay. So that's our brick little chimney here. It's probably going to be fake, but still. All right. So I think this looks like a really, really cute birdhouse. And then also, how do you want your birdhouse to hang up? And you could easily do like, let's do like a really big loop, maybe. That might work. And then do like a little knot. You could probably create like a little bit of a rope, kind of like, now I'm just doodling. So like you could create something, create like a little rope, little piece of twine. Something that's like, basically that's hooked on there. And I really don't know. I mean, it all just depends on like, where is this going to be hooked up at? Or are you even going to see this? I mean, if you put a bunch of foliage around, then you're probably not going to see it. All right. Now, of course, since I'll be tracing and transferring this over to a paper, if you guys are wanting to kind of see what it would look like if we had this all like red, white, and blued out, which I do believe we still have time since I'm ahead of time. So that's pretty awesome. Now they give me a drink. Let's go ahead and get some tracing transfer, and then we can color some of this. I think this is a good little way to learn, especially if you're doing, if you're wanting to learn like doing perspective and just kind of drawing freehand perspective. This is a good way to learn. And this here is just some of my paper here that has definitely been through a lot. Nonetheless, it works perfect for what we're doing. I never throw away my paper, even if it's been through a lot. So like this paper here, I have like, I think I accidentally spilled some of my soft pastels on it, and then my daughter was playing and drawing in it on one sheet. And then I've got a bunch of like red soft pastel that had basically spilt all in a bag, and it is completely covered. So makes it nice to do like something like this, especially if I'm going to keep it for my own personal use, then works out perfect for me, because then I can do myself a little piece of, I don't know, little drawing and have it perfect for setting up. Let me get some tracing paper here. I never throw away all my scrap pieces of tracing paper, because you never know if there's something that's going to be the right size, just like this. Where's my scissors? So if I have big sheets of tracing paper, and let's say I trace something or trace one of my drawings or whatever, then I can just cut out what I need to trace. I probably won't. I don't know if I'll put that down or not. Probably not. I'll do my own little thing with my pencils. But see, I don't need all of this. Probably only need about that much. So I'll just take it. And now I cut it. And then if I need to trace and transfer any little drawings or anything of this size, I can easily do that. So therefore, I am getting a lot of use out of my tracing paper. Like, I do not waste too much stuff, because things cost so much nowadays, and it's just so much easier for me to not have to buy a bunch of stuff. Yes, I am always pinching my pennies whenever I can. So let's go ahead and put our little tape here. Some more tape here. And I only want these two corners, so that way I'm able to lift up my paper and kind of check on, well, actually I could actually do the whole entire thing. That way it doesn't move. Probably be better. And then whenever you go to, I mean, it won't really move actually. It'll be fine. We'll just use two. And then whenever you do your transfer with your carbon paper here, and you do it on your whatever paper you're gonna use, then it's easier just to kind of look. It's basically what I was thinking. I was just jumping ahead of myself. Now, whenever I trace, I do like to use a colored pencil. This really does help me to see where I'm at. Actually, whenever I transfer, I'm getting tracing and transferring messed up. Whenever I transfer my image, I like to use a colored pencil. As far as just tracing, I do like to use a little bit of a darker pencil. Where's my other pencil at? 3B. So here's a good one. If it is a pencil and not like something weird that I just stuck in there. It's just a Tombow Mono 3B, so it is a darker pencil. It's actually probably too dark. I really wanted to like an HB or at least not even a 2H. That was a 2H that I grabbed out of there. But it'll be all right. So, and if you don't have like a straight hand when tracing, you can always use a ruler if you're wanting to do it. And I totally get it too, because there's times whenever I trace or even draw for that matter, that for some reason maybe I was really tired and my hand gets really shaky. I mean, I totally get that. And then there's times whenever I try to use my ruler and I'm not as good and I just get frustrated and then I end up just doing it freehand and I end up being better. And don't ask me how that happened. I am not going to use those lines going straight across. I really just want to use the little shingles here. Okay, and then I want to make my little line here. Do my little shimmy. So just doing my little tracing and following those lines. Okay, so now we already got that. Let's go ahead and put our little star. Every time I do my star, whenever I trace my star, it's never as good as whenever I draw it for some reason. So funny. Oh, looks like Whiskey is coming in here. What do you want, baby? Whiskey, what do you want? Excuse me, had to have another drink. What you want, baby? Are you needing to go outside? Do you need to go outside? Where's Bubby? Where's Ethan? I don't know. He just came bursting in here, which usually means he's got to go to the bathroom real bad. And my son was supposed to be watching him, but he wanted to play a video game too. Hey Rachel, where's Ethan? In the kitchen. Can you let him know that Whiskey came in here and he might need to go to the bathroom? Oh, he does know? Okay. And he left. So Whiskey is gone. Maybe he went to go get his shoes on. Yep, that's probably it. Whiskey's got to tell everybody he's got to go to the bathroom. Let's go ahead and get these windows in. And I know it takes a little bit longer. It's always nice to have a window. You can just look up and then you see my son making funny faces at me. I can't help it. I have to laugh. Making funny faces. Okay, and then let's go ahead and take that down. It's the corner of the house. There's the other corner of the house. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to color this all in. What's that noise? It couldn't have went that quickly. Maybe you did. Yeah, I should be wearing my glove too, because usually when you do this, you always get a bunch of stuff all over the back of your hand, and I'm going to end up smudging, which is never good. Okay, and let's go ahead and do this. Oops. I really don't like using this dark of a pencil, to be honest, but I don't know why I had it in there. Oops. And see, you don't have to make them this straight, to be honest with you. You could actually add like curves in your bars instead of being completely straight. I mean, you guys could basically do whatever you want. And you know, I could easily go back in and do that too if I wanted to, but didn't want to spend too much time on this because I definitely wanted to show you guys how to use the 1-point perspective too. Kind of a refresher, which is super nice to have refreshers every now and then. Especially like me, you know, it's been, I don't know, like almost 30 some odd years, or no, it wouldn't be that old. It's probably been like 20. No, God, I can't even think. If I was in, yeah, it'd be close to like almost 20 years ago when actually having classes and learning the perspective and going through it. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a refresher every now and then. And I think that's good. Look, either I hear an ambulance coming or an officer, I don't know. So you guys are going to hear a lot of noise if they go by our house. And Whiskey's going to be going berserk too, because he's just like, what is it? What is it? Where is it at? Oh, that's kind of weird. Sounded like it stopped not that far from here. Oh, now I hear it again. Is he driving in circles? They stopped. Okay, they got the lights on and now they're going that way. Okay, this is never good. They're going in all different types of directions out there. I think they're chasing after Smokey and the Bandit. Eastbound down. You never know. See, I took out my ruler. Sometimes these smaller ones or these smaller lines, you might need to have a ruler. And I may end up, I think I already did this one. Should lift it up and be able to see. Let me sharpen my pencil. And that way I can create some of these smaller lines back here. And I know you probably can't see, but just drawing these smaller little rails back in the back corner here. Probably doesn't even matter, to be honest, because I can easily draw them in afterward. But I just want to make sure I got them in. Alright, so now we got our little birdhouse minus the little hook thingy. I was just kind of doodling with that, but in all reality, it would probably be best to, I mean, you could make this little hook thingy, but if you were to look up, let's just say a birdhouse on Pixabay, and they have like a little string or a little knot or maybe even a little hook, that would be a really good reference photo for you to kind of look at and draw your little hook, and then also to kind of create whatever type of tie you want. So having a reference photo for some things are nice to have. Other things, it's nice to just kind of come up and make your own imaginary thing, like a birdhouse. I mean, birdhouses are really, really safe to do. You don't really have to have a reference photo for it. Now we can put this anywhere we want. If we want it more toward the bottom, we could do that, but then that's going to mean that we're going to have a tie up here. We can do it toward the middle. You know, this even, I just now thought of this, but you don't even have to have a tie on this. This could be on a pole. So you could actually do like a wood pole or a steel pole that's coming down. You can cascade a bunch of vines, kind of cascading up around it. And then you could also stick your little bird in there. And if you guys are wondering, okay, well, you got this far, how do you go back and stick a bird in there? And if you're wanting to just go ahead and find a bird off a reference photo and you want to draw it out, you can draw that type of bird on there by looking at your reference photo. Or if you want to, you can also trace and transfer any which way you want, and then put the little bird on there, and that way you can adjust it on the house wherever you want it. So it just makes it a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and we still got 30 minutes. So now we can trace in onto our paper. I really should just color it on here, to be honest with you guys, but for time, but it just wouldn't be the same. I mean, I really want, I knew this was going to take a little bit. Uh-oh, door is slowly opening. What?
You want a chicken sandwich?
Chicken sandwich?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I'll take a chicken sandwich. Oh, somebody's in trouble out there.
I saw that.
What happened?
I don't know. You need to saw it.
Is it a person that got pulled over?
I don't know. I whistle.
Oh, at the house? Oh, domestic. That little dog lives there.
Yeah, it's a sniffer dog too.
Oh no, there's a little dog that always comes out, and it's an old elderly people, and they always said, "Oh look, your puppy's getting bigger." And then the last time they looked over at me and they were like, "Oh, is the Joe taking you out for a walk today?"
I'm saying the police have a sniffer dog.
A sniffer dog? What
Yeah.
for? What do they use those for? Drugs?
Either drugs or to find people.
Well, I mean, it's easier to find them in the house. That's weird, at the elderly people's house.
It's somewhere around there. Do you want a chicken sandwich though?
Well, I can already tell you they're innocent. No, just joking. Yes, that'll be
You good?
fine. Yeah.
Alright, I'm making it.
Thank you, Bubby. My goodness, the person, they're elderly people that live there. Of course, it couldn't be in their house. I mean, they were zooming back and forth, and they have a sniffer dog out. Oh God, Whiskey. If I took Whiskey out there, he would be like, "Roar, roar, 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 roar." He's a good sniffer dog too. Whiskey, oh my gosh. If he got trained, he would probably outsniff those dogs. I mean, he was born sniffing. Like, sniffing, I mean, he has a problem with sniffing so bad that he picked up a little stick and found a stick, and I was like, "Be careful with the stick," and I hollered at my puppy dog, and when he took off running, he's used to running with his head down sniffing, and the stick poked him right into the mouth, and he started crying, and I started crying, and I was holding him, and he was banned from ever picking up sticks again. Like, I won't allow him to pick up a stick at all. So he's not like other dogs. Like, he seriously runs with his nose pointed down, sniffing. And some of my neighbors would let their dogs out. They're not supposed to let their dogs out neither, and without a leash. And they did, and they just let their dogs go into my yard, and they, of course, go the bathroom in my yard, and I'm over there trying to chase them out because my puppy is very, very territorial, and he really is, like I said, very, very keen on sniffing so much. And whenever those dogs try and go to the bathroom on it, it's like on his territory, he can smell it, and it just drives him nuts. I even went out there and took like Tide spray, and started spraying the area that I saw the dog went at, just to try and get rid of the smell. Even though I couldn't smell it, I know he can. And it seriously drives him nuts. Like, he does not like it. So he doesn't use his eyesight. He'll literally run himself into a wall because he sniffs where he goes. Everywhere. So my puppy dog would be a good sniffer dog. Did I get this side down? Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and get this top part. You can hear him playing. At least you guys know I'm gonna have me a spicy chicken sandwich. Even though I just had pizza. I just remembered I had pizza. Why is he cooking? But I guess when my son cooks, you know, that's pretty nice. He doesn't like to eat on his own. So, like, if he's hungry and he wants something, he's got to cook it for not just him. He's got to cook it for everybody. And if they don't eat, then he won't eat. He won't even cook it. And I said, well, just cook yourself your own chicken sandwich. No, never mind. I don't want to eat anymore. Like, oh my gosh. But yeah, if you guys use a colored pencil to transfer your drawing onto your paper, you can definitely tell the areas that you got compared to the areas you didn't get. See how this is red and this is not red? I can definitely see what areas I did not do yet. That way I'm not redoing it, like going over it way too many times or missing something completely. I know I didn't because I used a color pencil. And the color pencils that I'm using, because if you're like, well, I paid a lot of money for my color pencils, I really don't want to waste them. I get you. I'm probably the best one to know about not wanting to waste anything. So this pencil here is my Pro Color, or at least one of my Pro Colors, and it is not light fast. Like the ratings on it is not as light fast. So all the pencils that are not as good on the light fast are not to where I can sell them. I take them out and I put them away, and then I just take them out and I use them for this. I mean, that way you're not just like, if you're an artist who sells your work and you're just like, well, now these pencils are just for, you know, give them to your kids or whatever. I usually take them and I use them for this. My daughter's got so much stuff, especially for the powerful pack boxes. There's things that are not light fast or I can't really use them, maybe unless I make prints out of them, but I can't really use them to sell. Then I usually give them to my daughters because they're really a lot of fun. And there is a set of those liquid watercolors that she has that I gave her, and oh my god, I love those. Those were so much fun to work with. And of course, you know, I might take them out and use them again, but I don't know. I just wish they were light fast. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to sharpen this again. Did they just take off? One person took off. I wonder if my kids can see anything. Hold on, wait, you guys. Can you see anything? Is there any more stuff happening? Like, be nosy, because I think one person just took off, and now I see something toward the front of the vehicle. Like, what is it? You don't. You can't see. Is it a stretcher? Is somebody hurt or what? Well, Rachel went out there and looked.
She still can't tell.
She can tell.
She just said that she couldn't.
Did she go over far enough from my angle? Because I can see something. We're nosy in this family. Can't help it. Go over. Yeah, keep going. Then look. There's something there. There's an officer at the front of the vehicle in the hood, and there's something else there. Looks like it's teal in color. Oh no, I'm looking, but what is it? It's an officer in the front of the vehicle for sure.
Yeah, there is. I just got nervous, like. 'Cause the
No, you're in your own house.
Yeah, you're
I
fine.
know, but like, can you believe the one that's so
I don't know what it is.
I don't know either. I saw, I think it was a police officer.
Yeah.
Well, what was in front of it on the thing?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Nobody knows. Oh, get your phone, then Zoom.
This is not mine.
Hey, I'm telling everybody what's going on. They want to know. I bet you they want to know.
There's a dog.
Okay, so we got a dog. And there's a whiskey underneath me too. Is that the dog?
There's a police officer holding the dog on a leash, just like leaned up against the car looking this way with something green next to him.
That's what I see, something green next to him.
Yeah, I don't know what, I can't tell the green because it's half covered from the other side of the car.
Just put your hands up and say, "What are you doing?"
Oh, heck no. You do that.
What are you doing? Huh? Why not? I'd do it. Need some help? Don't know what you're doing. My daughter was like, "Hex no." Not doing that. I think it would be funny. Okay, so I just gotta put these lines in, and then we'll have it transferred. My head's probably in the way. Sorry about that, you guys. All right, I think we got it done. Oh wait, no, my awning, I can already see. Okay. Oh, I'm getting nose booped. What do you want, baby? Hey. Aw, what's wrong, sweetheart? Why are you nose booping me, huh, baby? Well, he's nose booping me. He's like, tap, tap, tap. Oh, forgot my windows. He already went to the bathroom. He might need to go again. You never know. Oh, now there's something. Oh, there's something else going out there, Rachel. Is that a stretcher? No, why would it do the stretcher? It's not an ambulance. That is so weird. There's a person out there. Now the officer's getting out. It looks like a stretcher or a wheelchair or something. I think somebody got run over. Oh, that's horrible. I better not say that. Run over. I don't think anybody got run over. Oh, Rachel needs to be nosy. Okay, So anyways, we got the house, the birdhouse. Watch me get on my bicycle and get a bicycle and go riding out there and let's go see what it is. A little bit of a gap. I forgot my star. Oops. Let's put this back on real quick. I don't know why I didn't check it. Everything's going crazy out here. And I forgot my star. There. Yeah, that's better. Okay, my star is there now. And really the only thing I can do as far as putting it on this paper here would be either soft pastel or doing like colored pencil. That would probably be the only thing that I would suggest using anything on it. Like markers or any of that stuff, that's just gonna go through. Here comes Rachel. I wonder what she's gonna say. Give me a report. What's going on out there? Okay. So we wanted to make this red, white, and blue. We got like a few minutes. We got like 12 minutes. All right. Let's just color this in just to kind of give an example of what it's going to look like. Let's use, of course, my reds. I don't want to do those. Let's see here. Luminance. I like my luminance. Actually, you know what? Somebody asked me about, oh, sorry, Rachel. Somebody asked me about using my Holbein pencils. Since I'm not selling this and we're just having some fun, let's just use these because I really don't care for them much. At least the first time I ever used them. I only used them once and I didn't care for them much. I don't know. We can use them again. Maybe I got a different feeling. It was such a long time ago too. So like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna do a blue house, white star? Yeah. So let's just have some fun. I am not worried about anything when it comes to making this perfect or anything like that. We are literally just having fun. This is a really, yeah, this is, yeah, we'll do this. I know, I go through a lot of thoughts. It's kind of crazy though. Thought process that goes through my head. So we're going to use this darker blue just to kind of give it a little bit of a shadow. We're going to use making this line nice and thick. What's that? Rachel, what'd you giggle for? I don't know. I just heard something. I don't know if it's fireworks, but at first I heard thump, thump, bum, bum, and I'm like, oh gosh, there's a shootout. That would be crazy. And then I hear you giggling over there. I'm like, really? That's the way my kids react? Start laughing. I'm like, okay, not cool. I'm like scaring myself over here. I know this is not normally the way I do my color pencil works. Usually I spend a lot more time on it. I get it nice and I work in circles. I do all the fun stuff, you know. But for this one here, we're not going to do that. What's that? Keep on hearing stuff. I don't like it. Whiskey, why you tapping? What's is it? Huh? Just trying to get that theme of the red, white, and blue kind of showing through on this. Trying to do it in under 12 minutes. Oh, now it's way under. I don't know. Don't think I can get this done in 6 minutes. Now with the other side of the house, since we are working with this blue, and I am working so quickly trying to get this at least filled in. It's very unprofessional of me. I like usually taking my time on my artwork, but we're not doing that. We did that for the drawing. But the good thing is that I do have my drawings, so if I really wanted to go ahead and work and take much slower time doing it, then I can. I could just trace, transfer, put it on a nicer, like a bigger piece of paper maybe, and then make it a little bit nicer by adding some greenery, birds, different stuff, and then doing the red, white, and blue. So I could still do that. And that's also a good thing. I mean, if you guys do the tracing and transferring like I did here, and let's just say something happened and you messed up and you messed up bad and you could not fix it. Like something happened and you accidentally spilt your tea on it, you know? Instead of having to go back through and try and redraw or do any of that stuff, you already got your drawing. You just go ahead and just transfer it again. Hopefully that never happens though, especially if you're like almost through with the whole entire thing and then that happens. Oh my God, that would be horrible. I'll have to sharpen this again. Okay. Now the one thing with this is that I am going to have to make one side lighter than the other. close that door. My daughter's listening to one of her things, and all I can hear is, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" I'm like, oh my goodness. Can't listen to that too long. Oh, Whiskey opens the door. He's like, "No, Mom, you can't shut that door. You're gonna." I see your head. Come in here. Come on. You can come in here, baby. I just was hearing Rachel's TV kept on saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I was like, wow. Let's see if I don't have a little bit lighter. Do I have a lighter tone? Let me see. Lighter than that one? Probably not. It's either going to be lighter or it will be... We can make this a little bit darker if we need to by adding a little bit more of a tone, a blue tone. Oh, look. Let's try this. I don't know. What about this one? Let's see. I was wondering what that was. See, just by adding these lines, if I don't make it look like it's lighter. Maybe. Oh, and down here. No, because I'm going to need that a little bit lighter. Let's try adding some white. Let's see what we can do. Only got 1 minute. Ah, there we go. Okay, we'll do that then. I'm not gonna make it. My red, white, and blue birdhouse is not gonna make it in time. Usually, if you guys are new, I don't like to usually go over 2 hours, at least by a lot. Because I do know it's a really long time, and sometimes it's hard to watch something for 2 hours. I understand. I totally get it. Okay, I'm going to fill this in, and I'm going to go over it with the white just so that way you can kind of see where we're at on this. Making it a little bit lighter. You can also just kind of run slowly white pencil. And this, by doing this, making one side a little bit lighter than the other side, definitely shows where the light is hitting it. Yeah, of course, like up in here, it's, I hope I don't have my microphone covered up. Underneath the little roof, it's probably not going to be as bright because of the shadowing. So what we could do is put like more of the darker light color in here. Instead of being super light, we'll just put in our regular. It's probably going to be a little bit darker, to be honest. So let's take some of that blue and just kind of come down into it just a little bit. That way we're kind of intermixing. Come up with a little bit of a different shade. There we go. And that way when we round this corner with that, it won't be as dark and you can still see. We got that little bit of a shadow there. And we can always come back in and add a little bit more of a gray tone to it. We definitely got that going for us. Of course, our little star here, we're definitely going to make it more of a white. Just want you guys to kind of see my thought process on this, at least for the red, white, and blue. Definitely, I don't usually draw too fast through this because that's just, I don't really care for doing that. I like to take my time on a lot of things. But I definitely wanted to get these colors in here just to kind of show you guys what it would look like if it was like filled in with the red, white, and blue. So I should say it's not my best work. Not with the coloring part. I want to take a little bit darker. Actually, we could do a little bit lighter red in here. And then darker on the sides. Actually, it should be lighter on the sides. Ooh, let's do that. Let's do lighter on the side here. Just because. Okay. And let's do darker. I want to get this a little bit darker here. Got some different tones of red. Let's do another tone of red. Oh, whiskey. All right. We may have to put some colors in there. Let me go do this and then we'll pretty much wrap it up. The black on this is not that great, just to let you guys know. If we're wanting to like add any more darkness to this, we can. Just kind of playing with these colors. The black is not black black neither. It's like more of a shading kind of black. Kind of interesting. So anyways, I was really hoping that I would get some of the color done, or at least a lot more than what I was wanting, or a lot more than what I got done. But I really wanted to go over the drawing of the birdhouse, because that's the most important, was just learning, or just like basically getting the steps down to be able to make your own birdhouse. And you can kind of create whatever thing you want. Let's just say if it's not 4th of July, you can always do like an Easter birdhouse. You can make Valentine birdhouse. I mean, you can make different ones. So it's totally up to you guys. I hope you really did enjoy this. Especially, it's getting hot in here. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope the 1-point perspective in creating a cute little birdhouse like that, and I just made it blurry. You guys, there we go. So you guys can see how I created this. You can kind of make your own, and you can also use 1-point perspective to make maybe something different. It doesn't have to be a birdhouse. Maybe you want to make an actual house. Maybe you want to build onto that house. Maybe you want to make a driveway. You could do that and just use the 1-point perspective. Now, if you're wanting to do a 2-point perspective, it is a little bit different for different scenes and different angles, depending on where you're at. So anyways, like I said, next week we're going to have the Powerful Pack review. At least we should have it, unless mail gets behind. And yeah, and then as far as Patreon, I may end up doing that next week because of the 4th of July holidays, kind of got me behind. So anyways, if you could leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye everyone.